Today is busy for me. We had homeschool stuff to do today, a field trip that we did today, but I need to work on these tomatoes today. They are ripe and they need to be cut up and go into the freezer. Yes, we have flies. That is just the nature of having a farm and having a compost bucket or a pig bucket, chicken bucket. You just have them, at least we do. So anyway, we today are going to work on tomatoes, put them in the freezer. I need to pickle okra. I have just a also those to be washed. They've all been labeled, but they need to be washed and put them away. But kitchen is a mess and I need to get it together and put everything away. So something I like to do is reuse my grocery bags. So most of the time I try to keep them in like one big bag that has all of them in, but apparently I have a couple loose end ones. So it's helpful to keep it in one big bag, one big gallon Ziploc bag, and then I can reuse them for the tomatoes. Now you don't need to cut the ends off of the tomatoes, but I do. It's just easier that way to do them now than when they're sort of thawing and stuff, so I don't mind doing it right now. I'm going to label the Ziploc bag and just say for sauce. That way I know what it's for. I need that thing that like holds your gallons of Ziploc bag. I just need to order them. There's like a pack of them and I always forget to buy them. But they hold your Ziploc bag so that way you don't have to like hold it and tackle it or lean it like I'm doing right now. Just makes it easier. Not really worried about coring these. I'm not really worried about it. And then cut the imperfection off of the tomato if there's anything on there. This year, these little, they're like bigger than a cherry tomato, smaller than like a slicer. So I don't know what these are called, but they have been super prolific. Like, they're not my favorite, but they have produced so much that I have enough to make like salsa with it, sliced tomato, like make sandwiches with them, and I'm going to make sauce with them. I know I have aromas kind of everywhere, still ripening, so I don't have quite enough to make sauce. So these will help. These will do in a pinch as well. They're just more seeds than meat. Unlike the Roma tomato has way more meat. But I planted more of these than the Romas. That's okay. Next year I do plan on doing way more Romas and a couple slicers for Curtis since he enjoys having them. And then a couple cherry tomatoes. I like the spoon tomatoes. Something like that. I don't know what the spoon tomatoes. And they're so tiny, but they're so flavorful. The Matt Wild cherry ones, a friend of mine grew them, and they're so delicious. I didn't grow any, or none came up when I tried to grow them. Johnny Seeds usually sells them, and they're so good. I'm sure there's other ones, but and I think they even have like like orangey ones, but the Matt Wall cherries are bright red and just like a burst of flavor. Super sweet, super flavorful, but these, I'm excited to have, you know, enough to make sauce. But this will be wintertime. So I put these in Ziploc bags because right now I would have to boil some water, stick them in water and let it boil for about, 5 minutes, and then the skins would peel off, still be hot, it'd be really difficult. Instead, I just stick them in this bag, stick this in the freezer, and then when I am ready to make sauce, when I have enough, I can take them out of the freezer, let them thaw, and when they thaw, the skins will just simply come off. Very easy, very quick. And then I will also save the skins and dehydrate them. And then I can make tomato paste, or I have just stuck the whole thing in there and let it blend it up, and it's not a big deal. I don't really care about the skins. I think they blend enough that it doesn't matter to me. But I really don't have time to make sauce right now, so that's the main reason why I'm freezing them. Second reason is because the skins are just so easy to peel off. And it's just convenient for me right now. It's just to put them all in bags and put them in the freezer and wait for later, because I don't have enough time with school, and the garden is still producing other stuff for me to harvest and put away. So tomatoes are gonna have to wait. I made myself an iced latte. I needed a little coffee break. And I also wrote out the pickled okra recipe that I got from a nice older gentleman. I asked him where did he get them. He said he canned them himself, and I asked, can I get the recipe, because this is really delicious, and he said sure. So he gave it to me. Feel free to screenshot it. I will also write it down below, down in the down bar, so you can it'd be easier for you. But I have enjoyed this pickled okra a lot. I have made it all summer. It is going to be a canning staple of mine, something that I want to always have. And I have to say, the only downside to this is that you have to let it sit for 4 to 6 weeks. That's a long time if you want it right away. So, but this is a shelf, like it has to sit on the shelf for a while. It's not one of those that you like water bath or can. So, but the whole thing is that it's quick and easy to make, but then it takes, some time to season. So the recipe calls for 3 cups of water, but I'm going to double it. So 6 cups. Then it also calls for 1 cup of vinegar. So I'm going to do 2 cups of vinegar. And then it calls for a 1/3 cup of salt, but again, I'm going to double it, so I'm going to do 2 of those. Oh my, it's just salt. And I'm gonna turn it on. Let that boil and let the salt dissolve. All right, so while the salt water, vinegar water is boiling, I wash my jars, make sure they're clean, and use hot water. I also need to finish washing the okra and cutting the ends so it's like really short so it can fit in the jar. I think the water is done though, yeah. Yep, it's boiled. Okay, so the jars are all nice and clean. This one is shorter than the others. That is weird. Okay, I think it's an older one too then. Anyway, that was weird. Washed all the jars. I have some minced garlic. It would be better if it was whole cloves, but that's not what I have, so I used what I have. I'm going to do a teaspoon of garlic per jar, or kind of around there, maybe a little half. That's a lot of garlic. And then I like to make mine, kind of spicy. So I'm going to use this hot pepper sauce that had these peppers in it. We used all the vinegar. Ooh, okay, there's still some in there. I'm gonna put 2 in each one. They're still, still got some flavor. I don't want to waste them for no reason. Actually, I'm gonna go with 3 because they're not that spicy on their own. And I can use up them up. It's laying just sideways there. There we go. All right. That's that. I'm going to cut off the ends of the okra so that they fit well in here. And we don't really eat that part anyway, the end. and then they sit here for 4 to 6 weeks. And I check them every once in a while, and since they're hot, they're gonna seal, but later on I'll kind of like shake them a little bit so the salt and the garlic and the peppers kind of marinate in here. All right, so this is about my third planting of green beans this year. Oh, look at all the green beans. That one's really big. Well, I have no idea what made this giant hole. Well, I have never had so many green beans growing on these plants. I mean, they've done so well. There's so many. It's crazy, and they're big. Now, I let these go too far, but there's just so many. I mean, this is almost full. It's got a couple tomatoes in there. And then this pocket's full. I'm about to fill this one up. I mean, it is full. I've got this side to do, and then that's it. But I've picked that side, this one, these plants. I mean, there's just so much. Even in August still. The weirdest garden year ever. And I love it. Alright, so this basket is full. And then this pocket is about 3/4 of the way full, and so is this one. So I have to say that was very successful for the first picking. Now, I won't have quite the same amount next time, but there is a lot of little growth. I mean, there's one. I mean, there's another one in between there. I mean, and there's lots of flowers too. So I will be getting at least another harvest, which is very exciting and great. It's so beautiful right now, this golden hour. I'm trying to be really patient with these peppers, but they're just, I mean, this one is as big as my hand. I mean, the palm of my hand. I can't see it. But it's, oh, I just picked it. But these other ones, they're just getting so big. This one especially. They're just not turning, and I'm waiting patiently. And they're like as big as my palm. Some of them are. There's one back there that's huge, and it's just slightly, you could tell it's turning a little bit. And I really don't know what I'm doing wrong and why they're not turning. If you have any advice, please comment down below, because I don't know. I don't know if I need to cut back some of these leaves and give more sunlight or what, but I'm trying to be patient and wait. This golden hour is just so pretty right now.